Hi, boys and girls. I am here today with another story, and I have a really special one. Today being Friday, we have Halloween tomorrow, so I thought I would pick one of my favorite stories. And it kind of has a Halloween theme to it, or kind of something creepy or spooky. So I'm going to go ahead and put the cover up right here. What we are reading today is one of my favorite silly stories called Creepy Pair of Underwear. So, when we are reading this story today, there are a couple things I want you to keep in mind. Sometimes the author and the illustrator can kind of use certain colors in their pictures or on their page to kind of give us different feelings. So we might see, something that if a character kind of, has a red face or, they look like they're turning red, we know that they might be feeling mad if they're red. Okay, so that's just one example. So in this story, I really like how the author and the illustrator, they kind of make it kind of look creepy. And you'll see what I mean by that by some of the colors that they use. Another thing that author and illustrator can do is kind of show how time can pass in our story. Like a story doesn't happen just like that. It takes time for a story to go through from the beginning to the middle to the end. And that's another thing that they do in this story that I really like. And I thought it would be a good way to show you how the author and the illustrator can pass time in our story. Just like we know when we get to school in the morning, it's kind of dark. But as our day goes on, it starts to get light out. It gets warmer and things like that. So that's how our time passes in real life. And sometimes the author and the illustrator can show that same thing in the pictures. We might see that, the characters go to sleep and wake up to show that a whole day went by. So keep that in mind as we are reading our new story today called Creepy Pair of Underwear by Reynolds, and the pictures are by Peter Brown. So I hope you like our story. I'm going to go ahead and take my book jacket off so it's a little bit easier to hold here. Keep in mind, we're talking about how the colors can kind of change the mood or the feeling of the story. Okay? Creepy pair of underwear. Jasper Rabbit needed new underwear. On Thursday, Mom took him to the underwear store and grabbed the last 3 packages of plain white. But as they headed for the checkout, Jasper spotted them. Creepy underwear. So creepy, so comfy. They were glorious. Mom, can we please get these? Jasper pleaded. I think they're a little too creepy, said Mom. They're not creepy. They're cool, said Jasper. I'm not a little bunny anymore. I'm a big rabbit now. Mom agreed to buy 1 pair. So we kind of see the author and the illustrator kind of show that, that was supposed to be creepy by giving it that sort of Frankenstein green color there. And they even kind of look like Frankenstein underwear. So that's a little creepy. Let's keep reading. That night, Jasper wore his cool new underwear to bed. Do you want me to leave the hallway light on? Asked Dad. Dad, I'm not a little bunny anymore, said Jasper. I'm a big rabbit now. His dad shut the door. And that's when Jasper noticed. Bum, bum, bum. What do you think he noticed? He has his creepy underwear on, and Dad shut the door with no light. Make a prediction. What do you think is going to happen? The underwear glowed. a ghoulish, greenish glow. And the author is showing that kind of creepy, ghoulish green, like something that's kind of really creeping me out with that color. Let's keep reading. He closed his eyes. He pulled up the covers. He buried his face in his pillow, but it didn't help. He could still see that ghoulish, greenish glow. Jasper leaped out of bed and put on a pair of plain white. He stuffed those creepy underwear into the bottom of his laundry hamper. And finally, he fell asleep. So now, look how that writing is green. So the author and the illustrator are showing us that when he is really scared, our writing is what color? Good, green. And when he is not so scared, kind of switching it back to our normal colors there. He changes out of his creepy underwear back into his normal plain white, as he calls them. But when he got up the next day, he was wearing the creepy underwear. Woo. Jasper threw them into the garbage can. He was still a big rabbit. He wasn't even scared or anything. But he was just done with the scary underwear. But he wasn't scared. So he went to sleep and he woke up wearing the creepy underwear. Ooh. Then he says he's not scared. He just threw him out. He didn't want him anymore. How do you think Jasper Rabbit is really feeling? Yeah, I think he actually is a little bit scared, maybe a little creeped out by the underwear. Let's find out what happens here. And notice, he was sleeping. It was very dark on the page. Now he woke back up, and the author and the illustrator in the background kind of put the words on the nice white sky there. So we know that now it is back to daytime. So the author is using, or the illustrator is using different colors to kind of show that we went from night to day. Let's see if it changes again. After school, Jasper was doing his homework when he heard it. A scratchy, scraping sound coming from his dresser. He opened the drawer and they were back, staring at him with that ghoulish, greenish glow. The creepy underwear are back. He snatched the creepy underwear out of the drawer. He grabbed a big envelope and some stamps. To China. Bye-bye, scary underwear, he said, dropping his package in the mailbox. So he is trying to mail his creepy underwear to China, all the way on the complete other side of the world. Give me a thumbs up. Do you think that his plan is going to work? Or no way, his plan is never going to work? Give me a thumbs down. Let's find out what happens with Jasper's creepy underwear. When he opened the front door the next morning, there they were. And are those chopsticks? His creepy pair of underwear had somehow came back from China. And it brought back souvenirs. How is Jasper feeling? Yeah, he looks really scared. Jasper grabbed his mom's good sewing scissors. She didn't like using them. But this was an underwear emergency. This time, the creepy underwear were gone for good. I don't know. I got a bad feeling about this. Let's find out what happens. At bedtime, he slowly opened his underwear drawer. Nothing. Just plain white undies. He even searched under his bed. He shook out his lampshades. Whew! There was no sign of those creepy underwear. He went into the bathroom to comb his ears. Well, looks like he finally solved this problem. Now he can get ready for bed. Uh-oh. They were back. What is the matter with you? His mom asked. You're so jittery lately. Nothing, he yelped. A grown rabbit could not be terrified of his own underpants. He seized the underwear. He snagged a shovel from the garage, and he rode. He didn't stop pedaling until he reached Creek Hanger Hill. Go ahead and look at that illustration there. Look how the illustrator is showing all the time that is passing. When we kind of see him over here riding his bike, he's riding along. Now he's down at the bottom of the hill till he makes his way all the way to the top. And we know that probably took a long time because they showed Jasper in 3 different spots there. It's another way the author and the illustrator can show time passing. So let's see what happens here at Creek Hanger Hill. Jasper began to dig. He dug until his hole was dark and deep and 100% underwear proof. So he dropped the underwear in. They gleamed from the bottom, that ghoulish, greenish glow. But not for long. And he buried his creepy underwear. When he got home, Jasper crept up to his dresser. They couldn't be in there. There was no way. Right? He reached for the handle. He peeked in. Nothing. Just plain white underwear. Jasper smiled, and he turned out the light. Look at this page. Absolutely nothing. So what is the author and the illustrator doing on this page? They said Jasper turned out the light. So now they are using the color black to show that it is dark in his room. So that's a good way to kind of give us that creepy effect of darkness. Jasper sat down and turned out the light. There was just one problem. It was really dark in here. Even for a big rabbit. So now what is he scared of? Yeah, his creepy underwear is gone. Now he's scared of the dark. Jasper turned on the light. He looked at his non-glowing pair of plain white underwear. And he knew what he had to do. The creepy underwear were a little muddy. But they still filled the room with that gentle greenish glow. So looking at the pictures here, just like we've been working on, there's no words, but we know that by looking at the pictures, he went and got a shovel, and he went and dug up his creepy underwear. And they still have that greenish, ghoulish glow. The next day, Jasper gathered all his allowance money and went to the underwear store all by himself, just like a big rabbit. But that night, Jasper wasn't scared at all. As he lay down to sleep, he smiled. And so did his underwear, because they had finally found someone who wasn't scared. So, what do you think he did with his underwear and his allowance at the underwear store? Let's find out. His creepy underwear. So now, what is he using his underwear as? Yeah, a nightlight. And that is the end of our story. So I hope you really enjoyed one of my favorite Halloween stories there, Creepy Pair of Underwear. You know, it's kind of meant to be a silly story. We don't really have any way that we can get a haunted pair of underwear that's going to keep appearing. But the author and the illustrator did do some nice things with the color that they chose to put in that story. Kind of gave us that creepy, kind of eerie, ghoulish feeling with those glowing green underwear. And the way that they just had a page of all darkness to show us that, we were supposed to be kind of getting creeped out. And it's kind of silly, so maybe you didn't get creeped out, but you can still kind of imagine what that feeling was supposed to be like. And of course, we saw that the illustrator kind of showed the passing of time by making it night, day, and even how Jasper rode his bike around, and then how he went to get the shovel to dig out his creepy underwear. So those are a lot of things that we learned only from the pictures. So we have to make sure that, once again, we are looking very carefully with our detective eyes at those pictures, okay? All right, so I hope you enjoyed our story. Once again, Creepy Pair of Underwear. I really enjoyed reading it to you. It's one of my favorites. So I hope that everybody has a nice, happy Halloween over the weekend. And thanks for reading with me. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.